What's up, everybody? It's the Iron Son. This is an impromptu live stream. I'm surprised this thing's capable of doing it. Um, the title is Righteous Criticism is Often Criticized. Righteous criticism is often, I actually don't know what um, it's talking about how people who criticize bad behavior are often labeled as haters. They're called misogynists or misandrists or something like that. Man, it's good to be back. Yes, this is my workout device. I get on this and I do push-ups and pull-ups. In fact, um, I will actually start posting some workout videos just for um, just my progress on things. Since this is technically my personal channel, I'll start posting things where I can show my own progress. Uh, you know, yeah. So I was looking at this channel. Hopefully, let's see if I can do the thing. It's the baby. I think she's making some really good videos. I like her videos. Let's do that. Shift 5. Bop. I'll do that. Shift 7. I'm gonna try to load up a video real quick and start talking about it. Hopefully, I don't really want this to be long. It's the first live stream I've done in a while. Hopefully, I can make it about 30 minutes, something like that, and just go and do what I want to do today. I think today I got laundry. Excuse me, working out. I need to start working on my diet, so hopefully I can start getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner just for Monday through Friday. Would be great, and it doesn't even have to be really big, but that's a goal. Getting that and getting sleep, sleeping before 12 to write those goals down. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get the video up on this thing. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Let's see what happens. Oop. Okay. So I don't know how much I can share this without getting copyrighted, but I'll try to do a quick one. Oop.
Eventually, men start talking enough, you become red pill. That's just the truth. Like any man who's honest and like sees things clearly, you become a red pill misogynist piece. It just is what it is. But if you're truthful, like if you're honest about the way it is, that's just how it goes. I didn't want to be that. Like I want to respect and fall in love. Like at my core, I'm a romantic, bro. I want to fall in love, hold hands, do all that cute. But it's not possible. They will abuse you until you're weak and then leave you.
Okay, so the one thing I'm going to say is everybody's always going to judge the red pill guys because the red pill guys are straight up and tell you how it is. I don't like this generation because of the fact that you guys are so comforted with lies that when somebody is very honest and, just straight up, y'all are.
Okay, I don't want to do too much because I don't want to get copyrighted. So I'll leave it at that. I will leave it at that. I'm going to go to share and get rid of that. Stop screen. Okay, hopefully I got a little bit to talk about. I don't know. So I've had a couple of interesting experiences just in the past week or two. Oh man. Well, I think I don't like live streams because I'm not good at them. I think I'm better at group live streams, but I don't know. Anyways, what is the theme for today? The videos I did were pretty interesting recently. I did a video. I did a Her Majesty Claudia Part 3, which I was happy about. It was really long, but it partly went into my experiences with my ex uh, and the dynamic that she had with her family and how that protected her from accountability and stuff like that. Um, I think there's a little more to that situation, but I think that was one of the most frustrating parts of being with her, just the lack of accountability. Um, what other video did I do today? Let me see. Uh, so I did Sacred Feminine Heroine, which the second iteration, and I did Infinite Tsukiyomi. I was talking about the Infinite Tsukiyomi for guys, which is laziness, um, laziness, and succumbing to your own kind of anesthetizing yourself with your own vices, as opposed to actually overcoming things. A lot of guys are lazy. A lot of us are lazy. A lot of us are we give in to our we're weak minded. We give in to our pleasures, and we think that those pleasures will take away the pain of the failure that we've had in life, which it doesn't. Um, I'm guilty of this. I would say guys need to, um, again, just like I said in the video, they need to find something difficult to do and that is worthwhile and has meaning to them, and they need to do it often. And they need to start treating themselves in a way that is um, that shows that they respect themselves. For example, going to bed at a certain time, doing this, doing that. Um, Very simple things that kind of give the guy pride in who he is, and that kind of also shows other people that he is worth um, that he's worth something. Um, a lot of guys get a lot of guys get treated like they don't have any value, really. Um, I've noticed when I try to explain the dynamic, how guys are treated and um, what they're going through to women, a lot of them can't really they can't even put themselves in that position. The guy would almost have to be some little pit bull or some dog, and then they would, be like, "Oh, I can't believe it, this poor thing," and then is I was talking to a chick not too long ago. She rescues animals, and she rescues, I think she rescues pit bulls and cats and things like that. And it was a good conversation, but it showed me that a lot of animals, small animals, children, um, celebrities, they get a lot of times they get um, the amount of empathy they get is different, in my opinion, than the type of empathy that the average guy would get. Um, I don't think you can really compare the gap, or I don't think the gap is tantamount. I think guys, um, there's often not a lot of empathy there to give to begin with, which is part of the reason why males suppress their emotion, is because there's no we have a natural cost benefit analysis that we do in our minds, that males do. They make an assessment as to how much, how is it, whether it's worth it or not to do something. Hunting instincts, for lack of a better word. Um, these instincts compel men to only do something if it's not going to cause a significant amount of pain. Um, the degree of pain to reward, or risk to reward, risk versus reward. So if the reward is high and the risk is high, then perhaps the male will do it. But if the risk is high and the reward is low, then the male is likely not to do something, because he could be risking his own life, and that would be at the expense of his own progeny, the expense uh, of his own goals, just attaining something. This whole um, what the incel thing. I was watching a video today. This guy had a video on how a lot of rappers were incels before they became rappers, and that was a good video. Gotta figure out. Let's see if I can remember who he was. Uh, I'm gonna try to share the screen again. Let's see if I can find him. Here we go.
So now you put price on yourself.
Right, or because they have a nice
Yeah,
car.
guys, when they sleep around, they do it for the street. At that particular time, a lot of girls, they see my face on TV so many times. That's what they want. They want to be associated with that person. It's the bang that gets these people. It's not me. It's the bang. Because I watched females look at me when they didn't know who I was. And I could see nothing. And then soon as somebody whisper who I was, it's this glaring eye. You make yourself want that person, you know?
How do you feel about that?
I don't understand how people can stand next to you 1 year, and next year they cannot stand it. They just going crazy, screaming. They just can't take you right. But just last year, I was in the same club, walking around lonely like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get a date. Couldn't get nobody dancing. I was too skinny, too something. And now he's just adorable. He's just But I still enjoy sex. About emotional connection.
So in this video, I think did I put it away? So the guy who posted this, I think his channel is called Madhusanhara. He's got like nearly 50,000 subscribers. He's got a decent subscriber count, and he talks about how a lot of people's favorite rappers, including Tupac, and how he was an incel. He was a guy who women didn't like. They didn't think he was cool. They thought he was a scrub. They passed him up for other guys and things like that. And he's explaining the dynamic that hypergamy causes. Uh, how the guys without wealth and status, they kind of get overlooked and get seen as either an educated lame or just a lame in general. And he kind of like shows the contrast between being like uh, between being like when he was super broke and how they went from treating him like crap to treating him like he was a god, just because the label that was attached to his name uh, regarding his rapping career, the amount of wealth and status that he attained as a result. Um, and he kind of, from what I can hear from the clip, it sounds like he's kind of like he resents the response. He resents the difference, the change. Um, it seems like he also uh, like he's haunted by his past, and it doesn't seem like you actually forget those situations in the past where you were rejected, where you were seen as beneath the women you were trying to get with. Um, it seems like you remember that, especially for him when he got famous. Seems like he never forgot that those women were like that. He didn't let it go to his head. He didn't have this now I'm there kind of mindset where he forgets the little man. He forgets the guy who's coming up. Um, I think that's one thing I'm starting to value about Tupac now. I thought he was just when I first heard about him, I didn't think there was much depth to him. Like a lot of people, they hear rappers and they think they're just they don't really think that there's a lot to them. But a lot of the rappers um, that I listen to, I see a lot of them as modern day poets, and some of them are poet philosophers or philosopher poets. Uh, for example, like Black Thought, the things that he says. Um, who else? Odyssey in his own way. He's new school. He's pretty cool. Thinking of someone else. I'm trying to think of someone else. Uh, there's a couple of new school guys that are pretty cool, but there's old school guys. I don't know what I would call Black Thought. I think he's a bridge between old and new school because he was around in the older times of rap and hip hop with pun. And then he kind of came through the probably the what early '90s all the way up through the 2000s. But he probably was probably rocking way further back than that. Uh, but the stuff that that guy says is extremely compelling, and the freestyles he puts out like 5-10 minute freestyles and gets like millions of views. The guy's ridiculous. His rhyme schemes, the way he like he raps, but it's almost like he has melodies. It's almost like he's making music. Like he's making symphonies with his rap. Um, a lot of the rappers that I've seen, and a lot of the hip hop artists, they're very red pilled in themselves. There's a song from Pharoah Monch in particular. A lot of his songs are very enlightening. He speaks about a lot of things that I can't really even speak about, really. Um, and he does it in such a subtle way, and it's a very, he does it with his own art, and it's just so cool to listen to. Um, one of the things I want to say, by the way, the people that come to this channel and think that I'm just going to sugarcoat things and think that I'm also the people who come to this channel thinking that I'm here uh, to make it seem like men are this pristine creature and that they can never do any wrong, and that women are evil and they're bad and they're the ones causing all the problems. I think you got the wrong interpretation of what I'm trying to do. Um, what I'm trying to do is show what I believe is the truth as to what direction uh, we might be able to go between the sexes. Um, but that's just one aspect of this channel. There's a lot of issues that I want to get to, but I don't think I can actually get to those with my own content. So eventually, I'm going to be doing live streams with other people just to get a message out. Um, I could probably get one going today, but I'll have to ask this one guy if he can get on. That would actually be pretty cool. I'm actually gonna, you know what? I like the idea of it. So I think maybe 6 or 7 o'clock, I'll ask a guy. I'll give him a call and see if he can. Give him a call and see if he can join the stream. See if we can chat it up about some stuff. Um, there's a lot of global events going on in politics and stuff like that. I don't want to get into that on this channel, not on YouTube. I'll save that for Odyssey or BitChute or something like that. Uh, but for this channel, at the very least, I can talk about some of the hidden things that are going on between the sexes. For example, I've noticed recently when I go out and I approach women that a lot of them are very, some of them are guarded. Some of them are, women are, they're, it seems like they're filtering through guys even faster now. Um, mm, Maybe the tests that they give guys are getting harder, but that I don't think that really stops um, the right guy, the guy that they want. Uh, what else? Uh, I saw a video today. Um, I forgot what the channel was, but there's this guy. He there's a guy. He makes videos about. Um, there's a guy. He makes videos about women, or he makes videos about stuff. He does crazy off the wall stuff like Mr. Beast. And he was making a video where he like hired a bunch of bodyguards to protect him. And I noticed on the bus when he initially had one or two bodyguards that were guys, but then on the bus when he went on the bus, there's like a couple of chicks, right? And I was thinking to myself like man, we've gotten this far with feminism where we actually have women thinking they're like atomic blonde or something like that, thinking they can go out and be like a guy. It kind of freaked me out in a way. Uh, oh snap! Oh snap! Oh snap! Okay, all right, buddy. Ugh. Wasp. I thought it was an interesting video, but I I know it was for entertainment, but I was thinking to myself like, okay, just suspend your belief. It's not real. Um, anyways, reaching a 30-minute mark. This was just kind of just a live stream just to show I'm back and that I'm still making content and stuff. So where I am now and where I was like what a year to 2 years ago, it's pretty cool to look back on. The first video I did, I think had a little more weight on me. I've lost a lot of weight, a decent amount. I don't know if you can see it. Oh man. Not a lot's been going on. Just honestly, just trying to keep a degree of regularity in my life. Trying to um, follow important things that are going on, but also just balance my own life, which I wouldn't call myself a monk or anything, like a red pill monk or anything, but I've kind of turned somewhat into a hermit hybrid where I just kind of have this place where I go and I have my little shell and then I go and work. And then I washed my car recently and that was fun. I didn't expect that to be that fun, but turning on the music and uh, trying to figure out how much fluid to add, how much shampoo to add, and then washing the car felt really good because it was super dirty for a long time. I got to figure out how to get the sunspots out of the off the front. Oh, I forgot. I also want to play Gran Turismo today. Um, I think I might end up doing some streams of Gran Turismo and showing that, or maybe that's just not the right thing to do on this channel. I don't know. I don't want to put too much of my life on this channel. I just kind of want to put the aspects where I think is important for the stuff that I talk about on this channel. Um, One thing I would say, there is a lot of things going on in the world right now, and there are a lot of positive things going on, and there's a lot of negative things going on. I would say there's, in this particular case, there's more positive than negative. So, especially with this, the things that are happening in the manosphere space, I'm very happy. It seems like there's an enlightenment coming. It seems like there's a lot of there's a reckoning. Now, a lot of things shift back and forth, and we could always find ourselves back in the same predicament we're in now with modern relationships. Uh, Technology being the catalyst for why we're in the current um, iteration of that. Um, I think the progress that we've made towards the positive has come from very brave people. Stefan Molyneux made a video recently. I haven't watched it, but I've been trying to watch it. There's a guy, Alan Real, in there. Shout out to him. He's making some good content. It'd be super dope to do a collab with him. Hopefully, I can get a couple of collabs coming up in the future. Mama Rada, I was supposed to do a collab with her, but I never ended up doing it. There's a couple of other YouTubers I think I would like to do a podcast or something with. I'll reach out to a couple of them and hopefully I can start doing some cool stuff. Um, I'm going to try to do a stream later today, maybe 15, 20 minutes with a friend or two. Maybe I can get two of them on and do something. I'll probably have to schedule it for next week. Let's see. I try to see if I can get a friend on a screen on a stream today, but this one's pretty much about to end. Uh, so I would like to start posting exercises on this because this is for me it is a man's channel. It's a men's channel. It started as a man's channel, even though most of my subscribers are probably half are women, and then the other half are probably like 30% are guys actually. Um, yeah. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. In terms of the goal, the mission, where I want to go with this channel, um, I want to figure out a way to deal with the resentment and anger on the male side while showing a path forward. I think that's the goal. And I think I'm going to try to sharpen that goal as I go forward. This is also for myself because there have been times where I've been um, trying to figure out what is like what's the point in continuing with the rhetoric of the red pill and disseminating the information to the future generations if it's just gonna embolden them to become harsher to women, to be angry and things like that. Which I'm not saying that information itself does that. I think the individual is different. You have to separate the individual from the information, and I think too often red pill information gets criticized unfairly because of the it gets criticized unfairly, and we don't really take into account that humans are imperfect. We ignore the emotional aspect of humanity and how giving information to someone and that person doing that something with that information that's negative, it doesn't show that the information is bad. It just shows that the person is imperfect and that they're filled with hatred, pain, sadness, sorrow, which we should kind of get used to the fact that males have emotion, even though a lot of times they're used as utilities. And here's the thing, women have their struggles too. I don't want guys to think that they're not struggling with things. Their struggle is actually really interesting because you have this being that wakes up every day and they see a red button. I explained this to a chick that I talked to actually recently. I explained that women wake up and see a red button next to their bed for the first, what, 15, 25 years of their life. They wake up, see a red button, and they press the red button. What happens? They get instant validation, instant attention, instant affection, instant whatever you want to call it. Now they do that every day. They don't have to. The whole idea of this is that the whole idea that is, they go to sleep, they wake up, they see a red button, they go, I want this today. Bam, they touch it. They get instant validation, attention, affection, all those things, right? Um, and later on in life, where the red pillars would call uh, this phase of women's life the wall, where their looks start to fade and they have to go through uh, extensive measures to keep their beauty and their youth, um, because it's gone. So they have to show that they look. They have to pretend to be youthful. Um, that's when you get the women. They start to wake up, and the button gets a little bit further away, right? So now they have to get out of bed and press the button. They can't just wake up and press the button. Now they have to get up, open the door, and then the button's there, and they gotta press it. But then eventually they have to get up, open the door, press the button, and the button doesn't always give them affection, attention, validation. It doesn't always give them that. So they have to press it a couple of times, right? um, it's kind of an analogy for their lives. They wake up and they get access to instant stimulation with no effort, which if you would imagine doing that with a rat, for example, it wakes up, it gets everything it needs right in its face, no effort. How that would impact that rat versus a rat that has to use its mind, has to think, and has to struggle to get something. Um, just thinking like a scientist. Women, um, that in a way that's their existence, which is not necessarily better. It's not necessarily one that I would wish on a person, because think about how immoral you would become, how easy it would be to slip into immorality, how easy it would be to slip into lower depths of functioning. Um, you couple of things. Um, you don't really if you don't have to really work for something, that goes into my Her Majesty Claudia thing. I don't even really have to explain that. I've already explained it. But, for men, the red button is it's hidden, and he has a map, and he has to find it. Um, and he has to develop the skills to traverse the terrain in order to find the red button. It's almost not even a red button. In a way, he almost has to create the button. He has to figure out how to create that red button. And then when he presses it, there's no guarantee that it'll work. A man's red button is almost it's something that he has to create. He has to almost create his own validation. He almost has to create the button itself. Now when the women, you know, now the ones who give him validation and stuff like that, ones who give him validation and things like that, it comes with a lot of struggle. They see that he's capable of something, or they see that others um, find him useful in some way, and then his attempts to press the button become effective. But the thing is, a man getting up and pressing a button, again, he has to get up, go drive a car, he has to traverse the land, he has to figure out he has to figure out where the button is, but then he can't show that he wants to press it. He has to, he has to be more subtle in his initiation of it. It's almost like Bitcoin, right? He has to start a withdrawal, but he doesn't. There's no guarantee that he's gonna get it. And he has to enter the code, and he's biting his teeth. He's like, am I gonna get it? I don't know. But there's a lot more effort that goes into it. Now this is just for the average guy. You get the top 10-15% of guys, and they have that same dynamic that women have. They just have the button right next to them in bed, and they just press the button, press the button, press the button. They don't even have to press the button, because with guys, the women will just hit them up, right? And I've seen glimpses of this from the women recently that I've been talking to. A lot of times they hit me up and they'll ask me, try to get me to say when we're going out or when we're doing things like that. And just seeing this, being a guy who started with low self-esteem, like, it kind of freaks you out. You're like, whoa, this is the world that guys can be in, outside of being this abjectly lonely creature who just who roams the earth in search of purpose, but is, they're kind of starved of love and affection and just base human needs. Um, the contrast between that, I think, is important, because being an overstimulated creature who gets everything they want with no effort, and the difficulty there is you're always searching for the next hit, but you're never able to be content with just one thing. Um, so you're more prone to ruin your life in a lot of different ways. You're not as patient. You're short term. You're a short term thinker. You don't really have a lot of foresight into the future. Um, the whole song or phrase, "girls just want to have fun." It's talking about how women want short term gratification, and they want instant pleasure over long term contentment. And the song is demonstrating this, and it's doing it in such a subtle way, but people don't really realize what the song is saying. Um, but the people like that, who want to get, and most people they don't want the difficulties of life. Um, it's just something they have to bear, but it turns you into a terrible person in a lot of ways, because you can say, girls want to have fun, or just people want to have fun. They want to go and be wild and drink and do all these crazy things. Um, there's consequences. I'll just say that. Um, so getting to the root of the video, the point of it anyway. Um, righteous criticism. Uh, a lot of times, people who have really good advice for other individuals, specifically guys who will talk about uh, poor behavior they're seeing from women and stuff like that, they get labeled as a misogynist. And I think for example, I was talking to a chick recently, and we were talking about victim blaming and stuff like that. And I noticed that some people, the whole idea of victim blaming is just internal versus external locus of control. Because some of the individuals, with exceptions, right? Because sometimes police officers and people involved with serious crimes, they, maybe they actually do, in a way, almost blame. Hold on a second. I gotta get it in the way of this little wasp. Maybe they almost do actually blame the person for doing something, but then there's kind of it seems like there's a thin line between the blaming the person and the person just having accountability for their own life. Um, a lot of times the red pill community says that they kind of say that women, uh, they skate through life skipping and kind of finding ways to dodge accountability, like the Matrix. They're just like, you know, no, I dodged accountability, right? Um, and I think the whole victim blaming narrative is one of those things that they use to dodge it. Because when you ask, like one of the things I had was saying in conversation, it's like, well, a person should watch their drink. They should be careful where they go. They should do this. They should do that. But then the I've noticed the main comeback from the person is that, well, we should just teach people who commit crimes not to commit crimes, right? Which I think is ridiculous. You're just saying let's make the world a safer place, but the world is a dangerous place. Um, if we can start with the basis, we can start with the presumption that the world is a dangerous place, then we can take efforts to explore methods to make a person safer. One of those methods is having an internal locus of control, because an external locus of control would fit along with your statements that, oh, we should tell people not to do bad things, and we should do that, and that way the person can just live through life without consequences, right? They don't have to be accountable essentially for their own lives. um, the accountability is on the person doing the thing to the other person, which, yes, they should be held accountable for their actions, um, you know, as well. But again, the world is a dangerous place. You can't really predict what's going to happen. You can only take measures to keep yourself safe. Um, I don't think women can accept this premise at I don't think they can accept this on a deeper level because of their natural reliance on other people to protect them. Um, maybe that's what's shifting their locus of control from internal to external. Maybe they're wired to have an external locus of control. Um, maybe solipsism is also partly to do with that. I don't know. Um, in terms of the righteous criticism, back to that. Um, so I don't really have much to add to it. I think criticizing others about their behaviors is fairly simple. It's easy to do. What's hard to do is to do it whenever you're being shamed and told that you're a misogynist and a bad person and things like that. Um, yeah. I want to make a mental note on this video. I want to talk about why guys use prawn and how that is kind of like that in what is it? OnlyFans and using virtual apps where they can talk to other women and stuff like that. It's kind of a method where guys can kind of get out that angst. They can kind of have a pressure valve for their loneliness and things like that. Oh, granted, a lot of those apps, there's some dealings going on with those that I can't really get to in this video. But yeah. Well, this is the first live stream in a long time. We'll see how it goes. I haven't gotten the crazy views yet, but I know how it is. You just make videos, make your content better over time, and then eventually, a door just cracks open. All right, y'all. Well, this is my channel. You can almost call this a second introduction because I haven't done this in a long time. Sometimes I do meetups, or I'll chat with like Good Mother and some other people and stuff like that. She's been very active recently. I would encourage you to check out her content. She's very, from what I can see, she's been on a campaign to get the word out about feminism and how it's kind of the F word, and how it's causing issues with a lot of it's wreaking havoc around the world, but particularly in the West, it's causing a lot of issues with our women, and it's uprooting a lot of our institutions, the workforce, churches, government, and it's causing a lot of pain for a lot of people, and it's a silent pain because they don't even. What's sad is they don't even know the source of what's happening, and they don't even realize that this whole push for equality is kind of making everyone pointless. It's putting more economic pressure on the men, and it's putting psychological pressure on the women because they're having to make their own living, working being a wage slave, which no one wants to be a wage slave, right? But women fought for the right to be a wage slave, which a lot of people, I guess are starting to realize, wait a minute, this is terrible. It's like the men started as wage slaves for their families, but then the women are like, I want to be a wage slave. And so the guys were like, okay. And so both the men and the women were wage slaves. And of course, we can kind of see the effects of how that turned out. I think that's one of the biggest gender red pills, or the economic red pills. Anyways.